All right. So what next? So we have our Vagrant installed, right? You have Dish Bash installed. All links to download all this stuff available on the um resource sheet, right? So make sure you have all that downloaded. Your VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, um, then Git Bash, then your Vagrant all installed, right? So what next? I want to create a folder where I can manage my Vagrant files, right? So let me see. I have infra, right? I've created a folder. Let me delete the folder and create it again. So I'll create a folder, right? So I want to call the folder Ubuntu because um, I want to pull Ubuntu into it. So right, so Ubuntu. Remember, this folder Ubuntu is inside where? Inside infra. Infra is inside documents. So we will open our Git bash, then cd into documents, then cd into infra. Cd means change directory. So how do you do that? So let me just put this here, then open my Git bash, right? And also I need my virtual box to be open. Let me see what is going on. It's my virtual box, my VM rather. So for ISO image, you remember our ISO image CMX, it's already up, set up here. So um, I'm not sure I'll be able to do a video for that one because it takes so much time to set up. So now our Git bash is up. I need to cd into that Ubuntu folder so that we can pull our Vagrant file into it. So change directory, cd, remember documents, first parent directory, right? All these simple commands, you get used to it when you start using doing um, your Linux, right? So basic stuff. So change directory, then inside documents, remember we have let's list what directory is inside documents. You will list it, you see our infra, right? So you see all that document as well. When so now we see into infra. Also note that Linux commands are case sensitive, so make sure you're typing according to what um, it is, right? If it is cap, make sure you use cap. It is small letter, make sure it is small letter so you don't run into error. So cd infra, right? So the next thing is um, what remember we have Ubuntu inside infra. Let's list the what list whatever is inside this infra. So you can see our Ubuntu folder. So now we're going to cd into this Ubuntu, right? Cd to Ubuntu, capital U, right? Ubuntu. Now we are inside Ubuntu. There is nothing inside it, right? Same thing as you can see here. Documents, infra, Ubuntu. Documents, infra, Ubuntu. Documents, infra, Ubuntu. So we are inside this folder now. Let me clear screen so that you can have a clean interface clear. So now remember we have our Vagrant installed, everything installed. Now we can run Vagrant. Okay, let me open. We want to pull this image, right? Let's go to Vagrant Cloud. Go to Vagrant Cloud, Vagrant Cloud, right? sorry, I don't have internet. So let me connect the internet. Right, so I'm on internet now. So now it's connect to internet, Vagrant Cloud. So on Vagrant Cloud, which which OS do we need? We need Ubuntu, right? So what's the command to pull Ubuntu? Go to new, right? This is the command, right? To pull Ubuntu, right? So we're gonna do Vagrant init Ubuntu 64. Ubuntu slash trust 64, trustive 64, and this will just pull a file. It's gonna pull a file, the Vagrant file for Ubuntu, into that Ubuntu directory. So see what happened here. So wait for it to pull that file, this Ubuntu file. It's gonna pull a file, Vagrant file for Ubuntu, specifically for this Ubuntu trustive 64. So um, let's see. I don't want to pause the video so that you can see what's going on. Um, Meanwhile, I want you to also watch what's going to happen when we do run the second command, right? Let me try make this side by side. So now you can see here a vagrant file has been placed in this directory. You are now ready to vagrant up your first virtual environment, right? So if you go into this directory now, you can see the file inside Ubuntu vagrant file. You can see it. So now the next command is what? Vagrant up, as suggested here, right? If you go to that vagrant cloud this thing, you see vagrant up to bring what? To bring up the environment. To bring up the environment. So all you need to do is what? Vagrant up. Vagrant up. Now see the difference between Vagrant and ISO image, right? You will see everything that is going to happen here. It's going to set up everything by itself automatically. Watch and see. Remember, I only run Vagrant up, right? Vagrant up. Remember that. So see what's going to happen. You can see bringing up a machine default up with VirtualBox provider, right? Look at this VirtualBox now. It's going to appear here. This machine that is coming up now, this VirtualBox, this Ubuntu that is coming up, it's going to appear here, right? Every VirtualBox like this, I did not name it, right? But it's going to name it, give it a unique name. This one was the one we did on Saturday, so that's its own name. So now look at what's going on now. This is it's coming up now. This is our new virtual machine is coming up. So you can see, look at setting a name, VM, setting everything, the network interface, everything, booting up, right? Okay, sorry, this is it here. So private key for SSH. It installed the Open SSH by itself, configured the interface by itself, private key by itself. But on your the one that you did ISO image, you have to generate SSH key by yourself before you will use to SSH into that machine. So but Vagrant set up everything, provides everything, right? The SSH key by Vagrant, right? So this is the advantage of using Vagrant. It's going to do everything, do connection testing, reset connection, abort it. If it's not working, reset it again until it's successful. Vagrant insecure key detected. Vagrant will automatically replace. You can see everything. This with a new generated key pair for better security, right? It does everything by itself. So as you can see, right, everything, and that is all. That is all. In fact, that the machine is ready. So now, how do we now enter into this machine now? All you need to do is SSH. Remember when you pull up, you configure your EC2 instance and you want to SSH into it, right? So you have to use what your the SSH your putty. If you're using putty, right, you use your putty file, but we are not doing that, right? So we are not doing that here. So all you need to do here, this virtual machine is managed by Vagrant. So you have to use what Vagrant SSH. You know the name for this virtual machine is default, right? You did not set it by yourself. Maybe in later days I'll show you how to set up your name by yourself, so that when it comes up, you already named the server instead of the default name, you've named it by yourself. But this is what Vagrant called this machine now. Default. It's called default. So what do you do here now? You have to now do Vagrant Vagrant SSH default. That's the machine name. This is it here. Default. Default. Right? Default. So that is what you do, and click enter. See what happens. Also don't see what happens. So you can see we are inside our Ubuntu environment. This is it. You're inside Vagrant Ubuntu. As you can see, you're inside this machine on the terminal. You can see welcome to Ubuntu, right? System information disabled due to load higher than 1.0. You know, this is okay for you to practice. There is no limitation. You can do whatever you want to do, right? Whatever you need to do to practice, right? So let me clear screen. Let's go clear or control L, right? So you want to list your file system ls/root, which is the root. You can see this is your Linux file list system. Remember, this is no longer your normal this in terminal. If you want to see your normal this in, open a new window. You see the difference. See the difference. See the difference. This one you're inside Ubuntu Trust 64. Why this one is your normal user system. If you do ls here, it will list your Windows files, while this one is your Linux environment, your virtual Linux environment. Just as you SSH using putty into your EC2 instance, it is the same thing here, as you can see. So I hope you understand. So from here now, you can start practice all your Linux command, basic command, or whatever tutorial you're following, right? So I hope you understand. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any concerns,